what's up? Another daily vlog. In this video, I'm going to talk about something I just learned about that I have been struggling with for a very long time, and it's called imposter syndrome. And I didn't know that this was a thing. It's one of those things that you hear in passing conversation, but if you're not really listening, you're not really picking up on what the dialogue is or what the meaning is. And so I'll talk about what it is and sort of talk about what I'm dealing with. So imposter syndrome is where you feel like you don't deserve things. If you get something nice or enjoy something nice, you don't feel like you should be enjoying something nice. You don't feel like that you're adequate enough or worthy of good things or good things happening to you, or you use your past failures as the reason to create a certain outlook on yourself that sort of gives you a reason on why things don't work out. And that's just the basis of it. It's a much deeper thing than I know about or fully understand, but I could be the first to tell you that yeah, I felt that way. I felt like inadequate. I felt like and that's the crazy thing, is because there are certain things I'm really good at, and there are a lot of positive things that I achieve. And what happens is, if you have imposter syndrome, you can achieve some good stuff, and then you downplay it, like you think it's not good enough or it's nothing. And then another thing is that when you have imposter syndrome or dealing with it, you compare yourself to others who are more successful, or just anyone. You're like, and I've done that a lot. I've compared myself to so many YouTubers and music producers and people in the field who have more. I've compared myself to couples who are married, and looking at them like they have something in them that I don't have. I've looked at couples who've had children and looked at myself as inadequate because they're a couple, they're married, and they've had children. And I've also looked at people who have had children as them, even no matter what the situation in which they conceived, they still had children, period. And that's sort of a life thing. And you compare yourself to them, because like, wow, they've had children, I haven't. Maybe there's something wrong with me. That's imposter syndrome. Or beats, or this person did this beat, or has this type of following, or this type of career. Or in my case, like certain producers who are from Flint who live full-time in the music industry, and I'm not living full-time in the music industry because I'm going to work, or I don't submit music and stick on this music submission thing for film and television like how I should, because I feel a sense of inadequacy for submitting, all that stuff. And I'm super guilty of that, more than I like to admit. And just that feeling of inadequacy and all that stuff. I think a lot of that can come from looking at the wrong type of content on the internet. I think a lot of that can come from, looking at just the wrong thing and having the wrong mindsets. And if you don't know that that's going on, how do you call it out? How do you address it? And so to imposter syndrome, I say, no, I don't want that. No, I want to fix that. No, I don't want to feel inadequate. Now that I know why and the tools of inadequate, that's one of the tools, that's one of the ways you can feel inadequate. Oh, I don't want to finish this beat because I don't have a following, or I don't have a certain system or certain microphone. I don't want to record this vocal because my skill set of mixing isn't what I think it should be, and I hear someone else's and they sound amazing. Imposter syndrome, or just being single, for a long time, and you just feel inadequate. Or here's another thing, like if you don't get the Holy Spirit in the church, you feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not foaming at the mouth and flipping on the altar, or you don't know how to do a praise dance, or you feel inadequate because you can't do that run that they always do in gospel music, that church run, and you feel like, okay, well, I guess my singing isn't good enough, because when I see somebody else do that church run in church, they're like, wow, they can sing, and then I don't really get too much of a response when I sing, and so you feel inadequate or not good enough. And I'll just be the first to, or my car is a HHR 4-cylinder. It's paid for, but it's not one of those Hellcat Challengers with the pipes on them, you know, and you can feel inadequate because, you know, just a lot of things. And I'm not going to tell you that I know exactly what it's about, but at least I know what the name of the demon is called. And the name of the demon is called imposter syndrome. Now that I know what the process, now that I know what the qualities are, that how you describe that issue, now I can say, the next time I feel inadequate or unworthy of trying something new or unworthy of investigating something or standing my ground, I'll have to ask myself, am I encountering a little bit of imposter syndrome right now? Am I writing myself out or selling myself shorter than I should based on something that is not based on reality? Or riding past a really nice house because I can't afford to buy a really nice house that makes me less of a person or less of a man if I can't provide, or I'm not making $60,000 or $70,000 a year, or the fact that I may be having to move into another house or another apartment in a year from now, or the fact that I've struggled to get things together with NACA to get my paperwork to see if I can even get approved for a loan because there's a weird core belief inside of me that makes me afraid to just experience the failure of that. There's so many layers to this, and there's so many layers to me that I know that are there that I felt for a long time that I didn't agree with, that I'm pulling back. But that's the cool thing. It's like when you get rid of one big core problem, you get to see what other core problems. It's like a rock on the ground, and that main rock on the ground is like one of your biggest core issues, like say an addiction to pornography or addiction to alcohol and drugs or something like that, or just something, a dysfunction in your life that you somehow hold on closer than you should, and now it's rotting and it's killing you, but you're so entrenched in a habit of holding on to that thing that is hurting you, and there's nothing you can do about it because you don't have any knowledge about what's going on. And so you know, it's like having a rock, and once you get rid of that big problem, now you got all the little bugs underneath it that's been chilling there in the darkness that are now scaring away and trying to get back in the ground and get back to where it's dark, because now you're dealing with a place of where there was once darkness, now there's light there. And when when you're in darkness, you don't really see anything, so there's nothing to face. But then when that light hit, now you have to face some things and say, hey, enough is enough, and say, no, I don't want to feel this way. No, I don't want to feel inadequate. No, I'm not trying to put anybody down. And that's the important thing too. You don't want to create constructs of putting someone else down or anything like that in your changing of your self-perception of feeling adequate, of feeling good enough, or feeling worthy, right? Sorry, I'm scratching my nose. So that's something very important that I think should be recognized and should be addressed. And so now that I know what the name of that is, now I can say I don't have to feel that way. I don't have to agree with these things, and I should try again. I should be trying to send music out. I should be making YouTube videos again. I should be making beats again. I should be trying to perform again. I should be going out. I should be meeting people. I should be trying to earn money. I should be calling people. I should try to create relationships. I should go steal a kiss. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to say no to that if you know what that is. So I'm saying this video to share with those who are watching, maybe just two of y'all. But the syndrome is a thing. Imposter syndrome. And if you do a search on that, you're going to see a lot of that on YouTube. And so it explained more. Like, you think one thing was not explained, like narcissistic personality disorder was a thing. I understood that. I was able to call that out and identify that and say no to that. Now going inside imposter syndrome, because I'm really bad at that. Comparing myself, feeling inadequate, just really selling myself short more than I should. So that's important, and I think it's very important that I share that with you today. So I hope this helps, and helps you do some reflection on yourself to make yourself better. I'm about to get to work. I'll see y'all.